and welcome to Under the Visor, the weekly Formula One podcast where one of us knows exactly what he's talking about.
And the other one is still learning. And today, that's definitely you.
Yeah, I'm going to get taught today. So we mentioned last week, this week we're going to talk about Jenson Button. And I know that he won in 2009.
Correct.
That's about it.
Brilliant. Perfect. Because his career was way more interesting than just his championship. It's one of the weirdest journeys to a world title you'll probably see.
Yeah.
But very interesting.
Yeah. So, I know he started in karting, but I only know that because what you told me last week.
What did I tell you last week?
That Jenson started in karting.
Brilliant.
The same time that you were karting.
Yes. So, yeah, it's true. My claim to fame. We were teammates for a little bit, but we're not going to go into depth into that.
Well, before we get into his karting career, I think we should cover a couple of things that have happened this week.
Yes.
In the news, so to speak.
Correct. And first of all, we should probably say our thoughts are with Juha Miettinen.
Yeah.
I probably said that wrong. Who unfortunately lost his life on Saturday at the Nordschleife during the LNS qualifying. Massive crash. I think it was 7 cars involved. And even though the emergency services got there very quickly, unfortunately he succumbed to his injuries at the medical centre at the track. So our thoughts are with him, and obviously the family and the whole racing community, because again, Max was involved in this race.
Yes.
So our thoughts go out to him.
Yeah, they do indeed. And then the one thing I wanted to cover, which I haven't spoken to you about yet, is there has been talks today between the FIA, the team principals, the FOM, and it's now just awaiting final sign-off, changes to the regulations from Miami onwards.
Right. Okay, what are they going to do? Do we know?
It says, I'll give you a TLDR. The final proposals presented during an online meeting were the result of a series of consultations over the past few weeks between FIA technical reps and extensive input from F1 drivers. They will be implemented from the Miami Grand Prix, apart from the race start changes that are set to be tested in Miami and then adopted following feedback and analysis. So, changes to qualifying. Adjustment. So obviously these are proposals. They're still waiting to sign off. This isn't final.
Yeah.
But these are what are being proposed. Adjustments to energy management parameters, including a reduction in maximum permitted recharge from 8 millijoules to 7, aimed at reducing excessive harvesting and encouraging more consistent flat-out driving. So that's to target the maximum superclip duration reduced to approximately 2 to 4 seconds per lap.
Right.
Peak superclip power increased to 350 kilowatts. It was previously 250.
Right, okay.
So further reducing the time spent recharging and reducing driver workload on energy management. This will also be applied in race conditions.
Right, okay.
And the number of events where alternative lower energy limits may apply has been increased from 8 to 12 races, allowing greater adaptation to circuit characteristics.
Right.
Changes to racing. The maximum power available through the boost in race conditions is now capped at plus 150 kilowatts, or the car's current power level at activation if it is higher.
Right, okay.
So that will limit sudden performance differentials. The MG UK deployment, now I don't quite know what that is, but MG UK deployment is maintained at 350 kilowatts in key acceleration zones, which is from corner exit to braking point, including overtaking zones. It will be limited to 250 kilowatts in other parts of the lap.
Right.
And these measures are designed to reduce excessive closing speeds while maintaining overtaking opportunities and overall performance characteristics. And as I say, these have all been discussed today with an online meeting between the FIA team principals, CEOs of the power unit manufacturers and the FOM.
Right.
Change to race starts. A new low-power start detection system has been developed, capable of identifying cars with abnormally low acceleration shortly after clutch release. So we've all had witnessed a few people not being able to pull off the line quick enough. In such cases, an automatic MGUK deployment will be triggered to ensure a minimum level of acceleration and mitigate start-related risks without introducing any sporting advantage.
Okay.
An associated visual warning system is being introduced, activating flashing lights, rear and lateral, on the affected cars to alert fellow drivers.
Okay.
And a reset of the energy counter at the start of the formation lap has also been implemented to correct a previously identified system inconsistency.
Right, okay.
And lastly, changes to wet conditions.
Right.
Tyre blanket temperatures for intermediates has been increased following driver feedback in order to improve initial grip and tyre performance in wet conditions. Maximum ERS deployment will be reduced, limiting torque and improving car control in low grip conditions. And the rear light systems have been simplified, with clearer and more consistent visual cues to improve visibility and reaction time for following drivers in poor conditions.
Okay.
So these proposals will now be put before an FIA World Motorsport Council e-vote.
Right, okay.
But will be agreed upon prior to Miami. Bless you.
Thank you.
So hopefully next week we might know more.
Yeah.
If not,
well, at least they're doing something to work on it.
Exactly.
And yeah, we'll see how it plays out in Miami.
I mean, reading those, there's a couple of them I don't quite understand, like the MG UK, but they all seem like positive changes.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into Jenson's karting career then.
Let's go. Most drivers start in the world of karting normally around the age of 8 to 11. That's the normal route in. They start in cadets and then they might move up into TKMs, or where the way I went was Rotax, and they'll go and do Super 1, which is like the equivalent of Formula 1 in karting, Super 1. Or they'll go and race in Italy, or they'll go and do the Europeans and stuff like that. And yeah, Jenson took the same path, started karting when he was about 8, and immediately he was a very... People spotted him. People saw that he was very good. Talented. Like, he won the British Super Prix in 95, which is a big deal.
Okay.
He won Super 1 as well, and stuff like that. So yeah, he was already spotted from a very early age.
So a proper standout talent then.
Yeah, but not in the way you'd really expect. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't rude.
Okay.
He wasn't taking people off or driving into them. He was smooth, and his driving style was very good. In the wet, he was amazing. He just knew how to balance the car, balance his driving, and be able to take corners and be quick on the straights. He had an all-over feel for it.
Okay. From what I've seen of karting, it can be very rough around the edges, elbows out, kind of
it is.
Throw your weight around. So that kind of feels a little bit backwards for karting.
It was different. He had a different driving style. Now, would you like to know an alleged story? I did think I touched on this last week.
Okay. Always.
We'll have to say alleged. Alleged.
Yeah.
So John, his dad, with him forever.
He's a rally driver, right?
Yes. Yeah.
In a VW Beetle.
How did you? Someone's been looking him up, haven't they?
I read it earlier.
So John, his dad,
Yeah.
was his mechanic basically a lot of the time, and with him all the time. And obviously, when John passed, it hit Jenson hard, because John went to every single race, didn't miss one. Always with him, always by his side. Really nice chap, proper cockney.
Right.
Now, they say the Somerset boy.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't always live in Somerset.
Right.
So when there's always little scams, little this, little that, when they're trying to make money to forward their career. And their little, shall we say, their little gimmick was engines are very much sealed in karting.
Right.
So you can't do a lot with them. Road taxis have a full seal on them where you have to send them off to get everything done, and then they send it back to you and it's resealed and you can't do much to them. Well, obviously, I think we've touched it before, is why isn't everything the same? Well, in karting it is, bar the chassis. The engines are all the same. So you might have a good engine or you might have a bad engine. Now, they had an engine tuning company.
Okay.
It was very good. Well renowned. A bit like nowadays you've got Strawberries and Cream. Strawberries is the race team. Cream is the engine people who tune the engines and do all sorts like that. So they had a very good reputation. And their engines were very good. Now, what they allegedly did was take crappy old cadet engines that were rubbish,
yeah,
and just stick their sticker on it,
right,
and then sell them. And then when people go out and race, they would have a crap engine. The engine wouldn't be very good. So this obviously riled some people up, and allegedly their house was targeted quite a lot, and they had to migrate to Somerset to get away from all the bother they were having from people finding out that they were just sticking the stickers on, not really doing anything to the engine, and selling them at a very premium price to cadets. This is all alleged, but yeah, that's why they moved to Somerset.
Okay.
So
because they call
there's
him
a lot
the
of
Somerset boy, don't they?
They do,
But
yeah,
his
from
dad's
Froome.
Cockney and his mum's South African.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't sound like a Somersetian, if that's a thing. Same as me, really. I live in Somerset, and I don't sound like I'm from here at all. I sound like I'm from where I was from, which is London.
Yeah.
So that's the story behind it. That's how they made their money, which continued Jenson, because obviously it's very expensive. Even back then, you know, you'd have teams competing who are spending maybe, I don't know, we'll go by race weekend, so are spending maybe 1,000 to 2,000, and then you've got others who are spending maybe 10,000. You know, you're talking the difference between like 20,000 for a season and 100 grand for a season,
Right.
which is more than cars back then, but it got them on the ladder. Which brings us in nicely to what he did. He went on. So after his karting, he'd won a lot of stuff. He was a prodigy, if you like. He was spotted. Blah 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 blah. And he went on into the junior formulas and did Formula Ford in '98.
Okay.
Now British Formula Ford, very prestigious, even now. And Nathan, who I know, he won it in 2006. And he went on to do Indy Lights. And he, you know, when Nathan won it, he got an ST for a year. It's all run by Ford, so it's their works thing. And all I can say is when Nathan did it, it was about 60,000 ish for a season. This was in 2006. So back then, 98, you're probably looking at, I don't know, 40, 50 grand for a season. And it was either win it or bin it, really, because a lot of people didn't have the money to keep their cars going. So if they had a big smash, that would probably be the end of their season. So they had to learn very quickly at a young age how to overtake without smacking into somebody, because they just didn't have the money to repair the cars. And of course Jenson was brilliant. Won it in 98, as we said. And that's a big achievement because that really boosts you on. You get looked at for the Autosport Awards, which is the big awards ceremony where young drivers go out and they compete in different categories. They get put in 4 cars. I think it's one's an Indy car, one's a DTM, one's maybe a Formula Renault, and something else. I can't remember what they do. But the prize for winning the Autosport Awards is a test in a McLaren,
right,
Formula One car. So it's a big thing. And I'll go back to Nathan because this is how I know all about it. And this is completely true, 100% true. So him and three other guys were all put forward to the Autosport Awards. And Nathan Freak, if you want to Google him, you can see all of this information. And they went out and they did they're very secret, went out, did their laps, did their things, showed who was the best driver, blah, 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 blah. And I remember him coming up to me and saying, Nathan was probably the best. But Martin Brundle pulled him aside and said, you're not going to win this. And Nathan was like, what do you mean? And the only reason he didn't win was because he didn't have the budget for the next season yet. Right. And they wanted somebody who was definitely going to had the money to carry on racing because they were going to carry the prestigious Autosport thing. So he didn't win. Anyway, I believe Jenson did win the Autosport Awards.
He did in 98.
Yeah, so exactly. So, like I say, Formula Ford boosts you on to the Autosport Awards. And if you win, it really propels you because you get a test in a Formula One car. Do you know what he did in 99? Let's test your research.
So he won the British Formula 4 Championship and got that McLaren Motorsport Award in 98. And that pushed him up into Formula 3.
Yeah. And
he finished third.
Yes. Now, let's just make it clear that Formula 3, it's not like it is now. You've now got Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3, and they all run around together. It wasn't like that then. Back then, you'd have Formula 1, Formula 3000, which is then went to GP2 and now called Formula 2. But Formula 3 back then, you had British Formula 3, you had European Formula 3, and it was a lot different back then. It wasn't how it is now. They didn't follow the Formula 1 paddock around at all. So again, you still had to push. And yeah, like you say, he finished third. Again, Formula 3 people would do for many seasons. Unlike now, you basically do a season in Formula 3, and if you don't go to Formula 2, you kind of stop and go and do something else. Same with Formula 2, you might do 1 or 2 seasons. But back then, Formula 3, you might do 5 seasons. It might be your thing. That might be where you're racing. So he was up against very experienced drivers and stuff like that. So to finish third isn't bad. Sneeze. So
bless you.
He would carry on and keep going and start making points and making waves in the world of motorsport. But he was spotted. His test in Formula 3 prompted tests with McLaren and Prost before he won the shootout test for the Williams seat for the 2000 season. Now, back then, they might have 5 drivers. They were able to do as much testing really as they wanted back then. They could have multiple drivers and see who's the best. And Jenson got it. I think he was 20 and immediately went into the Williams F1 team in 2000 at 20, like I said.
Yeah, it was at the time, the youngest F1 driver.
Yes. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Was that ever, or was it just he was the youngest on the grid?
He was the youngest back then. Obviously, now it's changed. So you've got Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the youngest ever.
Right.
I believe. Definitely when he signed, because I think when he signed, he was 19. And then obviously when he joined, he was 20. So, yeah.
So straight into Williams then. Who was he up against?
Ralph Schumacher.
Yeah.
So obviously the brother of Michael. Didn't have Michael's talent.
Yeah.
Little fat kid growing up in karting. If you ever look at pictures of Ralph Schumacher growing up, you'll see Michael like, brilliant, the Rainmeister. And then you had little fat Ralph. Sort of. And also, would you like to know a fact about Ralph Schumacher?
Always up for a fact?
I believe. No, I'm sure he is. He is the first Formula One driver to come out as gay?
I think I knew that.
Sure you did. Now, would you like to know who the first ever racing driver to come out as gay is?
Go on.
Now, his name is Danny. I cannot remember his surname. But he was my tutor when I started karting at Silverstone. What's his name? Danny.
He's only recently come out, hasn't he? 2024.
Ralph. Yes. Hang on. Let me find out his name.
Well, Mike Bootler is the first F1 driver.
Danny Watts, his name was.
Okay.
And he came out in 2017. And I believe he was the first racing driver to come out. Now, it was kind of said that Mike Butler in the 1970s was often cited as openly gay.
Yes, I'm reading now. He not publicly, but within the paddock and among close friends,
people knew.
Yeah,
but openly gay to go hi, or hi, Danny Watts. Now he was my tutor. He had a black and yellow helmet, and he was my tutor in pro karts at Silverstone. And he was an amazing driver. And a brilliant teacher. He used to put like sand on the track if it wasn't wet to help to show how to control slides and stuff like that. But yeah, brilliant guy. And yeah, so Ralf Schumacher, was the first F1 driver to be openly gay, or X, because he didn't do it when he was in the sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was up against Michael's brother. And obviously Ralph had a lot to prove. Jenson wanted to prove to stay in the sport. And he holds his own. Button really holds his own in 2000. He does well in a car that's not amazing. This is where Williams are really on their downhill spot after winning, 96, 97, and then being beaten by the McLarens in 98 and 99 when Hakkinen won the championships. But he shows that he's a worthy driver,
even as a rookie.
And he even out qualifies Schumacher a few times, and straight away you're thinking, oh, do we have obviously British driver immediately? I think he's going to be a world champion in the future. But yeah, he really did have the the buzz of it. We had Hill, who just in the last few years he'd won the championship. We'd had Mansell in 92, Hill in 96, and everyone was going, oh, brilliant. We're going to have Jenson, and he's gonna be absolutely amazing. And then of course, what do you think Williams do?
Well, I'm assuming that whatever they did made it all go wrong.
Well, they sacked him.
Oh, brilliant.
As they always do. They got rid of him. And now I don't remember this period in his career.
Okay.
It's a really weird one. But apparently he went to Benetton, Renault.
Right.
And I just don't remember it. I don't know how long he was there. Was it just for a season? I don't know. This is something you can look up, but I don't remember him driving for Renault at all. And I was the biggest Jenson fan. So it's one of those where either we've all blocked it out because it was so bloody awful. He definitely went. He was always a bit of a playboy,
right,
back in his youth. And Renault had Flavio Briatore, one of the biggest playboys you can have in Formula One. So him, Jenson and Flavio and Renault colliding, obviously it skyrocketed. And I do remember there was talk about him. Should he be in the sport? Is he too much of a playboy? Is he good at bringing back the James Hunt style stuff like that? And he was a bit, but he, as we'll find out as we move through his career, he 100% calmed down once he got out of that Renault ecosystem. But anyway, so he moves to Renault, and it can't have gone well. It can't have clicked.
So he was at Benetton for one season.
There you go. So it didn't go well.
Yeah, and then they became Renault, didn't they?
Yeah, so Benetton became Renault. and then Alpine.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't a good season.
That him or the car?
I think it was a bit of both. I think he was a bit of a loose cannon.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big time Formula One driver, lots of money, lots of girls, lots of alcohol.
Partying,
he could partying,
isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And Flavio Briatore was all about that as well. So I think both let each other down. The car wasn't great, and he also struggled to adapt to it as well. So
was that kind of where people started doubting him a little bit?
They did, yeah. They sort of saw him as, oh, he's just here for the fun. He's lost the, So this is where people started to doubt him. And then they replaced him with Fernando Alonso, who we now know is probably going to win Rookie of the Year this year. But yeah, they replaced him, which was probably a kick in the balls for Jenson, because obviously they went on to win 2005 and 2006 with Fernando. So yeah, Jenson, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But no, thank you. Off you go.
So where do you go next?
He then went to BAR Honda.
Okay.
Now, BAR Honda was British American Tobacco, made a team. And they were terrible. Always terrible. But it was the start for Jenson to rebuild himself. So a reset, calm down, concentrate on the sport.
Yeah.
What do you want to be? Do you want to be a racing driver, or do you want to go and do something else? And he chose racing, and he did calm down, really, really, really calm down. And then in 2004, 10 podiums, finishes third in the championship with a car that is terrible. Now, it's a bad car. BAR never made a good car.
Yeah.
They always did weird liveries. Like one had a zip going up the middle, which they had two brands of tobacco, which they wanted to show. So they put a zip up the middle and put both, because they weren't allowed to run the cars in different liveries. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to one in the red, one in the blue. Formula One said, no, your cars have got to look the same. So they went, fine, we'll whack them together. Put a zip up the middle, whatever. Then they did that. So they were never great, but they weren't the worst. And Jenson really drove the car. And this is where he sort of became a complete driver. Not just quick, but he thought about his racing. He thought about the tactics and everything like that. And BAR, this is really where he carries on his career. It starts afresh. He's done with getting sacked. He's done with everything like that. And BAR, and I'm sure I'm right here, turned into Honda. Yeah. The works Honda team. Now, Honda have had a very up and down, as we can see this year with Aston Martin have Honda, don't they?
Yeah.
Sure they do. Terrible again. McLaren had Honda, terrible. So Honda were very like this. When they're good, they're amazing. When they're terrible, they are terrible. But we'll fast forward to 2006.
Yeah.
Where he gets his first win, wet race, like we were talking about in the karting, where he learned all his skills and driving, and he's one of the best in the rain. He really is. Is he? I know you're going to say, is he better than Schumacher and blah, blah, blah? I don't think so. But he's very good in the wet. And he gets his first win at Hungary in 2006, while that Renault that he was part of is dominating the season with Alonso. Do I think he could have won it in 2006 with that Renault? No. That Renault was very hard to drive. And if we ever cover the 2006 season, we can delve into that car more. But that car was horrible. It was really quick, but it really suited Alonso. So I don't think Jenson would have won with that car, and I think that might have finished his career. Anyway, wins his first race. Now, can you fact check something for me here, Karl?
Yeah, of course I can.
Was he at that point the driver to go the longest period of time without a win in Formula One before he got his win? That would have been 6 years.
So, okay, so what I found is he does not hold the record for the longest period of time without a win in F1 history. But he did experience a long gap, going 78 races between his win at the 2012 Brazilian Grand Prix and his retirement at the 2017 Monaco Grand Prix, which he started as a stand-in. He is not the overall record holder for a winless streak. Right. The longest gap between successive wins is Kimi Räikkönen, which is 112 races. Most starts without a win is Nico Hülkenberg with over 200 race starts without a victory. And the longest active winless streak is Alonso, having gone over a decade without a win since the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix. He does, however, Jenson's notable winless stats, this is what you're referring to, he waited 113 races for his first win at the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2006, which was a record at the time.
There we go. So, yeah it was. So I thought it was. So he wins the race. Everyone's happy. He's happy. And it was one of the best in changing conditions. He, just like we were saying, the way he started in karting, like you referred to earlier, with his smooth driving and not just elbows out, blah blah blah, full beans, helped him win those sort of races because he just understands grip better than most people, like Max does now. When he, like we referred to with his turn at Brazil, where he managed to save the car and set it off again. Yeah, so Jenson just understood it better.
Okay, but then this was kind of as you say, Honda was never really good with engines. This is kind of where they started to have a bit of a downfall, wasn't it?
100%. In 2008, 2007, 2008, they were nowhere. 2007, you obviously had Ferrari were really good and won the championship with Raikkonen. In 2008 was obviously Hamilton's first win. So obviously Hamilton's come into the season, 7 years after Jenson started, and this rookie is coming out and smashing everyone off the pitch. So they completely sort of fell apart, and the team folded in 2008. At the end of 2008, the team folded, but they'd already been working on 2009. So 2009 is coming around the corner. Everyone thinks at the end of 2008, Jenson's career's over. The team's folded. They're not going to compete next year, even though they'd built the car. Everything was ready. And then there was rumours. People were talking that Ross Brawn, who was the head strategist, never wanted to race. Doesn't interest him at all. So he was going to buy the team for £1. And he did, because he knew, and so did a lot of the people, Jenson included, that they had a little trick up their sleeve that they thought nobody else had. And they were right. They had what was called and we'll come into this more, but it was called the double diffuser. Don't ask me to explain what it did, but it made the car go whee very quickly.
That's the next minute of the podcast ruined. My next question was going to be, what's a double diffuser?
So I don't fully understand it, but the diffuser obviously manipulates the air as it goes through, and this one had a way of doing it that made the car sit down more, basically.
It's a revolutionary aerodynamic loophole exploited by Brawn in 2009, allowing them to create a secondary higher tier channel for air to pass through the rear floor.
Yeah.
So it significantly increased rear downforce by bypassing restrictions on diffuser height.
That's it. And they knew they had this, so they had to get this car out. So obviously Honda pulled out. They got a car, doesn't have an engine. They went to Mercedes, said, "Hi, can we have an engine?" And they went, "Yeah, go on then." And I remember vividly, testing came around. It was a bit like this year when Mercedes, everyone was going, "That Mercedes is quick. What are they doing? How are they cheating? What are they up to?" And it was the same with Brawn, but Brawn were a gazillion miles ahead. And everyone thought, well, this is brilliant. So it was Jenson and
Barrichello.
Rubens Barrichello. And
You impressed I knew that?
Yeah, I am.
I didn't even have to look that up. I just knew.
You didn't? Yeah, Rubens Barrichello.
Yeah.
And the dominance was unbelievable. We went to Australia, absolutely smashed it out of the park, blah, 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 blah. And they won 6 of the first 7 races. And were really going for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd think, oh, okay. But then it came to, I'm sure it was around Silverstone. And everyone caught up. And at this point, everyone was very close and they were getting beaten. In fact, I'm not sure if they even won a race after Silverstone. Maybe you can fact check that for me. Or if they did, it was only maybe 1.
Rubens Barrichello won 2.
Right.
So Jenson didn't know.
No. But obviously Jenson was head of the championship. Wasn't winning at this point. Red Bull had caught up. And it was a real title fight at the end. Even though they had absolute dominance at the beginning and were just winning every race, he had to really fight for it. And he did, and obviously became the 2009 Formula One World Championship. And I yesterday was at Goodwood, and I saw, and we'll put some pictures up now of what I got to see. But he was doing, he was driving the Brawn, and the thing that's amazing, what?
I could really do you dirty.
What? Put anything up there?
No, I could just put pictures of hay bales because you wouldn't be able to see over them.
Brilliant. Yeah, just pictures of the grass.
That's what went through my head.
But the thing that struck me was how small the cars were then. They look like proper racing cars. They sound like proper racing cars. And if Karl can do it and get one, he'll put a video of the car coming past.
He still was doing some great stuff with McLaren. He had Lewis Hamilton as his teammate. He won his 2nd race.
And it sounds amazing. It blew my ears off. And there was this little lad stood next to me. He's probably about the age that I started in Formula One. And I looked, when the car went past for the first time, I looked at him and he had exactly the same expression as me. He's like, and then he looked at his dad. He went, "That's loud." And he went, "Yes, that's how they used to sound when they were proper racing cars." So yeah, he did win the 2009 World Championship, became Formula One World Champion, and had to fight for it. He had to beat his teammate, and he had to fight for it.
Who was challenging him?
So Barrichello was challenging the most, obviously, because he was in the same teammate, equipment. Yeah. You then had the Red Bulls were coming along. The pack pushed up to them. I'd have to go through and look at who won what race, but I know that Red Bull were very close, and I think maybe Renault probably as well, and Ferrari.
I can tell you Vettel came 2nd that year. Yeah,
well, Vettel was on the charge then, wasn't he? Ready to start winning his championships.
Red Bull racing Renault at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's Vettel and Webber.
Yeah, so if you think that Vettel went on then to win 10, 11 and all of that, this was when Red Bull were on the charge, making their real statement in Formula One. Yeah. So they really pushed up to them.
We finished Button, Vettel, Barrichello, Webber, and then Lewis.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was Red Bull mainly.
Okay. So, I'll ask the question. Now, I didn't watch the 2009 season, but the 2009 season was the last season I really paid attention to before last year. Right. Mainly because, as you say, British racer winning.
Yeah.
And 21-year-old me was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Did he win the title, or did that car win the title?
The car gave him the equipment he needed. Mm-hmm. So everyone says it's the car, is it the driver? Well, Barrichello didn't win the championship.
No.
Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button won the championship.
Yeah.
So he had to beat his teammate. So you're already better than him. And you still have to be able to drive the car. Like I say, I don't think Button would have won the 2006, 2007 championship if he was still in the Renault. Yeah. I don't think the car would have suited him. But no, the car gave him the lead, but plenty of drivers would have succumbed to the pressure. Like we say, he didn't win a race in the second half of the season. Yeah, now, you've gone from winning everything to winning nothing ahead of the championship. It's quite easy to bottle it, and that's it. You've lost your only chance to become a Formula 1 world champion. So he really knew how to handle the pressure that year.
So he earned it then.
Yeah, mentally, that's his best season.
Okay. And then the end of 2009. So Brawn was only about for that 1 year, right?
We always knew they would be. So he bought it for that year to run the double diffuser, which he'd created. Ross Brawn had created this amazing thing and wanted the car out there. So if he did anything he could, spent a lot of his own money to get it out there. It was a one shot. That's it. One and done. We're out.
It's bought by Mercedes, right?
Yes.
I mean, I already know that from my research.
Brawn became Mercedes, which is how they got the engine
deal. They
deal.
bought a 75% stake.
Exactly. Yeah. And they were not great the next year.
No, well, I mean, he moved anyway, didn't he?
Yes, he went to McLaren.
Yeah, with Lewis.
To partner Lewis.
Yeah.
So 2 British drivers, British team. A lot of hopes hung on that. And
it's quite brave after winning a title to move teams. I mean, we spoke about Nico in our review the other week, how he retired after a win.
Yeah.
You know, most people go on to then like Max will then win a few in a row, or Lewis, but to move a team,
I'm not sure how much choice he had. Because Mercedes wanted German drivers.
Right.
And I believe that is when Schumacher came back, Michael. And it was Michael and Nico. They wanted German drivers in their cars.
I can tell you.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's when Schumacher came back.
They had Nico and Schumacher.
Yeah. So they wanted a German car, German engine, German drivers. And so I don't think Jenson had a choice. That's what I mean. He had this year to do it, and then it was done.
Because McLaren was McLaren Mercedes, wasn't it, back then?
Yes. Yeah, it was. McLaren Mercedes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously, Lewis had won the season in 2008 and hadn't done much more. And now we're moving into 2010, the Vettel era, where Red Bull are just dominant and just can't be touched. Adrian Newey cars again. And in 2011, Button outscores Hamilton.
Okay.
Let's just say in a crap car again.
Yeah.
But he outscores Hamilton.
Okay.
Not fast outright, but smarter across the season. So like we refer to Jenson all the time, he's the smarter driver. He may not always be the pure pace, but he knows how to drive the car. He's clever with it. He understands everything.
I mean, I'm looking now. He came second in that season, 2011.
He did very well. Second to
Vettel.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
so
he smashed it. I mean, Vettel 392 points, Jenson 270.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was the Red Bull era again.
Yeah.
So again, it came down to he could do his tyre management, his race decisions, and that's how he beats people. And he was good in the wet, and he could massage the tyres.
He's a very strategic and thinking driver.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
Okay.
And then if we move through 2011, you've got Canada. 2011.
Yeah, so I watched a video about the Canadian, because when I was doing my research for this, it come up, and what I know about it was it was one of those. It was an extremely wet race that was red flagged at one point.
Yeah.
There was multiple incidents, and at one point he was even last.
He was,
and
he
picked
was
up a puncture.
Yeah, multiple incidents. All hell was breaking loose. And he was last, like you say, picked up a puncher. I'm not sure how many pit stops. I think it was 4 or 5 he had during the race or something like that. And we come to the final lap, and I believe that this is the one where Sebastian Vettel, no, I'm going from memory here, but Sebastian Vettel goes into the chicane before they got up the main straight to the hairpin and runs a little bit wide.
Yeah.
And
wide.
Jenson comes through.
Yeah.
And goes on to and again we go back to the thinking driver, the wet weather, and it was brilliant. We didn't expect him to win it, and I remember us all cheering and going, yeah. But
is that the greatest race ever?
What, definitely one of them. 100%. There's you know, it was a very, very good race. And then we move on, and McLaren decline, basically.
Right.
As we know, McLaren have had they went to McLaren Honda, which we all know was terrible.
Honda again.
Oh, it was awful. You had I'm sure he was partnered with Alonso at this point. And Alonso was saying how it feels like a GP2 car and all of this. It was terrible. And basically he then it was the end of his time at the front. Crap car, everything wasn't going his way, and he decides to part Formula One. And I believe he went to go and race in Japan in Super Formula. I think he's done WEC as well. He has done WEC, and I think he only retired from WEC this year or maybe last year.
He came back for one race in 2017.
Yes. Can you remember why? I'm sure we've discussed this.
I feel like I did see it earlier, but I can't recall.
So remember we were talking about the Grand Slams and people wanting to collect stuff, and one of them being the Indy 500. Well, Alonso wanted to go and race in the Indy 500 to try and win, try and complete the Grand Slam. So Button stepped in for him at the Monaco Grand Prix. And just spoiler ahead, Alonso did not win it, by the way. So
in 2018 he did the Super GT Championship.
That's it, Super GT.
And won it?
Essentially.
Just says 2018 Super GT Champion.
There you go, yeah.
He highly successful with victory at Suzuka and podium finishes throughout the season, culminating in a championship title.
And then he went on to do WEC after that.
First rookie to win the GT 500 title since 2005.
Wow.
I'm looking now. All these big, massive podcasts have producers that do this for them.
Right. Yeah, he did World Endurance Championship from 2018 to 2025.
Okay.
Did 20 starts. His best finish was 10th in 2005.
2005?
Huh?
So 2005?
25.
Right. I was going to say.
Yeah, 2025. And then before that, like you say, he did Super GT. And his best finish in that was 2018 when he won the championship. He also did a bit of NASCAR Cup series in 2023. He did 3 races over the year, didn't win, didn't score a point, didn't get any top 10s. So moving on. And then that was it. He's retired from Formula One. And now we know he's back commentating and doing all of that.
Presenting and all that,
yeah. Yeah, presenting.
Okay. So, overall, where does Button rank?
In
in Formula One over his career?
British drivers or out of everybody?
I mean, it's easy to say our era.
In our era, he's okay.
Okay.
He did all right. I don't think he's up there with the greats.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's not far off.
He's not. No, he's not far off. But he's nowhere. He's not with your Vettels, your Maxes, your Alonsos, your Hamiltons, and all of that. So, yeah.
And Rosberg.
You're just trying to wind that guy up again in the comments, aren't you? If I go, yeah, he'll comment again and be like, no, you can't say it. I think they were very much on par. I think when their year
Both
came,
underrated.
If anything, the thing is, Rosberg beat Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
One of the greats.
Mm-hmm.
Jenson beat
2011.
Rubens. Yes, yeah. He did beat him, but he didn't win the championship, did he?
No.
So I think they're very much on par. I think Rosberg had a harder season when he won the championship.
Okay.
I think he did have a harder season. But then Jenson didn't win any races for the last 7, so he had to keep his head. So, yeah, it's a very close call, that one. I think Rosberg edges it.
Okay, so he might not have been the fastest driver on the grid.
No, but when it comes to racing intelligence and adapting conditions, he was one of the best of his era.
I suppose that's what won him the 2009 World Championship then.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't gone really deep into them, but we've given you an overhaul of Jenson's season. Otherwise, we'd be here for about 5 hours if Karl let me go into depth on everything. Yeah. So we've skimmed the surface, but obviously, if you want to know more, there's plenty of information out there.
Yeah.
Of 2009, one of the best seasons in Formula One, had everything in it.
Yeah. So we're very nearly returning to Formula One proper.
Thank goodness.
But one more week.
One more week.
One more episode of us waffling about old stuff.
And then there's a huge gap again. You've got on the 1st of May, Miami, and then it's not till the 24th. So you're going to have more waffle from us. But hopefully there'll be some more exciting stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll wrap up then.
100%.
Thanks very much for listening, watching on whatever platform you are listening or watching on. Don't forget, whatever platform you are on, whether that be YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, make sure to rate, like, comment. We do read the comments. We recently had a conversation with a chap, like we say, about Rosberg in the comments. So, yeah, we do interact with them. We do appreciate your interactions as well. And, yeah, thank you very much. We will be back next week. We don't know what about yet.
It'll be a surprise for us all.
It will be, because I haven't even thought about it.
What we should do is we should do a hat, and there's loads of things in there. And we pick one out and we go with that.
Okay.
Not now,
No.
because I haven't got a hat. But yeah, so it'll be a surprise.
It's empty.
It's empty. There's nothing in it. But if you want us to cover something for next week, we'll give you.
You got till the weekend.
You've got to the weekend. If you can get it sorted by the weekend, and the most commented thing for us to cover, and we will cover it in the next series.
Yeah.
But from me, Tom, and
me, Karl,
we will see you next week. Thank you for listening.
See you guys.
Bye.